The Fillmore Central Falcons improved to 4-1 with a 42-14 win over Winona Cotter last Friday night. Head coach Chris Mensink joining us. And Chris, what were the takeaways from last Friday from your perspective?
Yeah, it was a great week at Fillmore Central. That homecoming week, you always worry about distractions and things like that. But I thought our kids came out well and got an early lead and finished the ball game. So really happy with our special teams play. I thought we returned a kickoff and we returned a punt for a touchdown. Our kickoff team did an outstanding job. I think they averaged starting position was 23-yard line for them. We were 7 for 7 in the PAT department. So definitely our best performance on that phase of the game. Offensively, I thought we had a good balance. Our quarterback again, Bryden, had a nice showing with 12 for 17 for 122, and I thought our offensive line did a good job. We running the ball as well. Kane Larson had 113 yards and 3 touchdowns on his 14 carries, and Josh Hugard had 5 carries for 33. Those were our two leaders. So good balance there. And only giving up 14. We got a lot of kids in the game. So overall, a very good performance for our homecoming week.
Yeah, when I first looked at the box score of the game, I saw the yardage, and it wasn't an eye-popping number of yardage. But when you don't have a lot of long ways to go to score, due to those special teams playing the field position that you accomplished, the numbers are going to reflect that too, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. And we're not all about yardage. That we
Yeah.
really focused on that on the special teams play because we've had a few hiccups, in the first few ball games of the year. So those kids really stepped up and took that serious. And actually in the punting department too, we had only one punt, I think, and Logan Ilg punted it and we downed it inside the 5-yard line too. So you look at all those phases, giving them a long field and flipping that field and giving ourselves a short field. That's the goal. So if your offense doesn't have very far to go, it's tough to go 90 some yards every time and not make a mistake or turn the ball over. We did turn the ball over twice. We fumbled it twice, and that's something we haven't done, but we definitely need to clean that up. We had one protection issue and one that maybe should have just been thrown away that we held too long. So we'll get better in that phase as well.
What do you credit the growth in your special teams unit to?
Well, the focus on it in practice. We give a lot of time to those phases in practice. We punt and kick and catch balls every single day. We give time to those units, and Andrew Peterson, our special teams coach, really focused in and does a great job of scouting and getting our kids in position to be successful.
And the cool thing about special team success, rarely can one guy make a difference on special teams. It usually takes all 11 to get the job done. Do you agree?
It sure does. It sure does. And in our return guys, we've got some speed back there. And Josh Halgard had a touchdown in the kick game, and Greg Kennedy in the punt return game. Very explosive guys on the back end. But yeah, you got to have those guys up front that know who they're blocking, and sometimes in those positions you get some penalties of blocking the back. There's so much space, but our kids are really tuned into getting their hands up when they can't get the right position and working on angles. We spend some time on not taking on half a man and not going through guys, but trying to go around them and getting back on your path and working our triangles to contain people. And I think that really paid off this week.
And on the offensive side of the ball, you mentioned Bryden's performance. Seemingly, from a statistical perspective, it was a very efficient night. When you put up the ball 17 times and get 122 yards, averaging about 6, 7 yards every time you put it up, that's probably acceptable to most coaches. What do you credit the efficiency that you achieved last Friday night to?
Yeah, I think the efficiency, it all starts up front. Bryden's had he's had time, to dissect things and deliver the ball. He's spread it around. He's able to get to his first read, his second read, and sometimes even his third read to make the correct decision. So his decision making has been stellar and spreading the ball around. I think in the passing department, we had four different guys catch balls. Anthony Keeney caught 4 for 31. Josh Halgard caught 1 for 12. Greg Kennedy caught 5 balls for 55, and Kane caught 2 for 24. And then Greg had one reception for a touchdown as well. So, having that time and spreading that ball around, and defenses have to defend everybody. You're not just locked in on one guy. I think that's, our offensive coordinator does a good job of designing and taking what the defense gives us and hitting some of those. They're high percentage passes too. It's a hitch here. We're not going deep every time, right? You kind of got to take what they're given, and together Bryden and Coach Todd have done a good job of talking through that thing and getting the ball where it needs to go.
And speaking of efficiency, when you're averaging 5.3 yards per rush every time you tote the ball, I think most offensive line coaches who might not smile the most from any coach perspective are probably smiling year to year with that total, right?
Yeah, for sure. We knew that was going to be one of our strengths is our offensive line, and when people know you're going to run the ball and you can still run the ball, and that wears on teams as the game goes on. We have a really physical crew up front with a lot of size. They move well, and we need to be able to do that. And they've really stepped up to that challenge. And Coach Bakov and our line coach has done a good job of getting those kids ready.
And you've talked about them being a strength coming into the season. How have they grown through the first 5 weeks of the year?
Yeah, I think they've really gelled well. And starting two sophomores, we knew it was going to maybe take a little time. And those two kids have made just tremendous growth in their assignments and having a unit that communicates. I think they're doing a good job of communicating and knowing their assignment, getting their man. Their pad level's been much better as the seasons went on. We've also been able to rotate one or two guys in there to give them a little break, so we don't have guys going both ways, so they're a little fresher. I think that's important, and we've been able to stay healthy. So that's those are all going to be keys as we continue to move through. Yeah, knock on wood, right? It's in a 1A school and in any level of football, your kids got to stay healthy. So yeah, very proud of their progress and effort.
And this week, a trip to Lewiston, Altura. What are you expecting Friday night?
Yeah, another good football team. Lewiston's a double-A school. They're sitting at 4-1 now. They run the wing tee very well. So our kids are going to have to be very disciplined on the defensive side for sure. Their offensive line is very good as well. And they do a lot of different things. So we got to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, they're going to take advantage of that. They're very well coached. Coach Olson and his staff have been there a long time and run this offense, and they know it very well. So kids are going to have to know their assignment and stay home and be disciplined this week for sure.
All right, Coach, hopefully the positivity can keep rolling for you guys. Keep you guys healthy. We wish you best of luck.
All right. Thanks, Darren.
Fillmore Central coach Chris Mensink. It's Fillmore Central at Lewiston, Altura this Friday night.